Hi all. Today we'll study about Yak program. So in our lab we have three Yak programs. So here first we will study the what is Yak, overview of Yak, how we have to compile it. Then we will go for the programs. Okay. So before going for Yak, we should know Lex. So already we studied Lex. Just we'll glance it once again. So Lex, it had three sections. That is, first one is definition section, second rule section, third one is user subroutine section. And we used to compile Lex program, which used to give lex.yy.c file. Then we used to compile C file and we used to get a.out output, and a.out output we used to run it. Okay, that was the thing we did it. So here in Lex, first section, definition section was there we used to declare any C variables or header files, C header files, we used to declare it. Okay, or any external variables also you can declare it. And rule section we had regular expressions followed by corresponding actions. For each regular expression we used to identify the corresponding action. Okay, and in user subroutine section we used to write any function or main program only. Okay, so that is main program was there, main program that used to call yylex function we used to call it. So what is that yylex function was, whatever rule sections we return, those all rules corresponding regular expressions actions used to be converted into C files. Okay, let's see one example whatever we already studied. Okay, so here just our program intention is to write one lex program that which counts the number of identifiers. Okay, so here first one we return definition section. Okay, so here this definition section, there we are declaring just one variable, that is identifier count initialized to 0. Okay, and here this part completely, that is user subroutine section. So here we are writing main program, that is we are asking user to enter the some expression. So lex program will read it. So yylex function we are calling it, then we are printing the whatever identifier count we got it. Okay, then actually here our main part, that is rule section. Okay, so here in this rule section, okay, what we are doing is this. Here in this rule section what we are doing is to identify the identifiers. So whatever regular expression is there, that we return. So in C, identifiers should be always start with underscore or letter, then followed by underscore, letter or digits. So that regular expression we return it, and whenever it will come, it will identify the that regular expression will identify the identifier, just we are keep increasing the count. Okay, so if any other character came other than this, so that is dot, just we are neglecting it. And if slash n comes, means end of the expression is over, so we are stopping there only, that is written 0. So this is what we written it. So here, right, whatever this field was there, that is rule section, this entire thing used to convert into C code, and which will be kept inside yylex. Okay, so that's why we are calling here yylex function. Okay, so whenever we will compile this lex program, one C file will be created. That file name is lex.yy.c. So inside that one function will be there, that function name is yylex. Okay, so that's why in main we are calling yylex. Okay, so let's see the output. How we'll compile it first, lex, then file name will give, then we'll compile whatever C file we will be getting, that is gcc lex.yy.c, that redirecting to the output to the file name. Okay, I am given file name as a text here. Then we are running the test file, so it's asking for the expression. Let us enter it. So here if you entered, so suppose now I entered A B C D E F, then 787, then AD. If you saw here in this line, actually we have four things I entered, but three are the valid identifiers. 787 is not a valid identifier, so it will display the count, that is count of the identifier as a 3. Okay, it will display it. Now we'll go for actually our YAC program. Okay, this is the basic thing we required, which already we studied in lab. So this thing we required in YAC also. Okay, so here what is YAC? YAC stands for yet another compiler. It's nothing but this will be YAC will be used in parser phase of the our compiler. So this YAC itself is a one small compiler which compiles the code which you are writing the another compiler. Okay, so that's why yet another compiler, that is nothing but this is a compiler which compiles the code of another compiler. That's why we will call it as a YAC, that is yet another compiler. Okay, this will be used in parser phase. Okay, that is our syntax analysis phase. So here it is the overview. So how we'll write YAC program we'll study now. So this also contain again three sections. That is first one is definition section, second one is grammar section, I'm calling it, some authors call still as a rule section. Okay, and third one is user subroutine section. So here also same thing is there, and here now difference is while defining definition section you can give tokens. Okay, so which all tokens we want to identify from the lecture, that you can give it here. And grammar section, here we can give the actually in lex we used to give only regular expression and corresponding action. Now here we'll give the grammar, complete grammar, and each production will be having the action. So in this section main thing is on the entire grammar we'll write it, that grammar is nothing but synthetically whatever token we are getting, is it correct or not, to check that one. Okay, so for this grammar each production whatever we have, for that we can write the action. Okay, and user subroutine section, so here again same thing, you can write your own functions or main function here. So if you are combining both lex and YAC both programs and you are forming a your actual small compiler, that time in one place only you write the main function, that is you should either write in lex or you should write in either YAC. So 99% times we follow this procedure in YAC program only. Now we'll see just overview. So here we studied first lex program. If you compiled that one, what we used to get, so yy lex dot yy dot c file you used to get it, and lex one function used to be created. That function is nothing but conversion of rule section to the C code, like same thing here. So whatever we'll write it here in grammar section, this will be converted into again C code only. Okay, so that C code will be kept inside parse function. Okay, same thing in lex, rule section used to be converted into C code that will be kept inside lex, like that here grammar section, or here also you can call it as a rule section, so that will be converted into C code which will be kept inside parse function. Okay, and this parse function will be kept inside a file called as a y.tab.c. Okay, we will study in detail again that. Okay, y.tab.c file. Okay, so two files whatever will receive it, that is from lex and YAC, both will be combined and will form the one out, that will be saying as a dot out. Okay, this is the combination of both C files output together, so that is our one program contains two C files. Okay, now let's see. So here this is the actual how we'll compile it. So how it works, Lex program, that we'll study now. So here we'll write yak program first. Okay, that is always extension will be there as a .y. So yak compiler will take it, then it will create three files actually. So here y.tab.h, y.tab.c, y.out. So here y.tab.h always contains the external variables, that is nothing but declaration of variables. So it's just an header file which will be contain the whatever token we are writing, that will be converted into C code and it will be kept as a just declarations. Okay, and whatever this yak file we return, in that whatever grammar section was there, that will be converted into C code and it will be kept inside this file that is called as a y.tab.c. So inside that always it will be called as a parse function. Okay, in that function entire grammar rule will be kept it. Okay, then it will create one more file that is y.out. So it is after parser we have to send this whatever code is there to the next phase of the compiler, that is for the syntax analysis. So their syntax analysis will take the parse tree. So here in y.out actually we will keep the parse tree, that is for the next phase of the compiler. Okay, then here whatever we got C file, that C file we have to compile it. So C file is nothing but y.tab.c is there. So this C file will compile by using or normal C compiler, that is GCC will use it. Then we'll compile it and we'll get the output a.out. So now we'll run the a.out. Okay, so if only one yak program is there, this thing we can do it. If we have lex and yak together, means here we have to combine it. So that is here here along with this C file we have to combine one more C file, that is yak program, sorry, lex program, whatever generated C file, that we have to combine it. How will that is, what is the file name? Lex dot yy dot c, we got it. So that file and this file both together we have to compile and we'll get the output. Okay, so whenever you are writing a yak program along with lex, so you have to combine these two files and you have to get the output. So how to combine that one and how to compile it, that will study it. Okay,
Okay, let us see in the program now. That is first program. Write a yak program to evaluate arithmetic expression involving operators plus, minus, multiplication and division operators. So here suppose if I entered as a 2 plus 3, it has to give the result as a 5. So that evaluation method using yak program, we have to do it. So here yak program is actually is related to parser phase. So parser always takes the input from lexical analyzer. So lexical analyzer always we have to implement using lex program. So here for this program also we required lex program. So here we'll write first lex file. Okay, so how we'll write lex file? It again contains three fields. First one is definition section. Okay, second one is, so here this is a rule section. Third one we return left empty, that is subroutine section. So first section we have as a that is nothing but we are writing hash include y.tab.h. So y.tab.h is nothing but one file which will be created after yak compilation. Okay, so in that file always whatever tokens will generate it, those tokens will be there. So just we are including that one. Okay, so and next line number 3 we have extern int yyl val. Okay, so this is a one variable, this okay, which is globally defined inside y.tab.c file. Okay, it is defined inside y.tab.c file. So whenever we'll compile it yak program, that time this global variable will take the values whatever tokens are coming from it. Okay, so that is defined in different file. So to access in this file we're writing is was extern. Okay, so that is a global variable which we are accessing in this file. So we are writing as extern int yyl. Okay, now we'll see the rule section. Okay, so here our intention is to read the arithmetic expression, that's in the if it is given as a numbers 2 plus 3, identify the 2, then plus operator, then 3, then add it. Okay, so here tokenization, that is nothing but it has to, if I given as a 2 plus 3, so it has to identify 2 as a number, 3 as a number, then plus as a nothing but a one terminal. Okay, so for that purpose what we are doing, we are writing the regular expression. So for identifying the numbers, that is line number 6, we return as a 0 to 9, anything is there, so that regular expression will identify, and that whatever value is coming, that is always it's there in terms of character. So this character to integer conversion will do it. So whatever we are reading from the user, that will be there in YY text buffer. YY text buffer. So in this buffer it will be there. So YY text buffer, whatever input is there, that if I identify if it is a number, so that I will convert into value. So that value I will keep it in YY value, so that YAG program can identify the actual value. Then I am returning return num. So is nothing but num here is nothing but it's a token. Okay, what is that token? We'll study in while studying YAG program. Okay, so it's returning just as a token as a num. Okay, so if other than that space or tab if games are not doing anything, so that is we return in line number 7. So here line number 7, just space tab, if it is there, we are not doing anything, that is action part is empty, just semicolon is there. If I got as a /0, that is nothing but end of the expression, line is ended, so we are stopping there only, that is input we are not receiving further. If other than this any other character came, suppose he may enter as a, that is plus operator, okay, so or multiplication or any operator, so as it is we are sending it. Okay, that is nothing but dot line number 9 dot any operator, anything is came, so exactly we return that one, that is YY text buffer first 0th element, that we are returning it. That is nothing but whatever operator we received, as it is we are sending it to the YAG program. Okay, then user subroutine section, here we left this is a empty. So here actually we can write some subroutine functions or main program. So main program we will write it in YAG only, so we left this part as empty here. Okay, now we'll go for YAG program. So here again YAG program also has 3 sections. First one is, this is definition section, so this entire part is next one, that is grammar section or rule section we can say. Third one is user subroutine section, which is there in next slide, we'll take it. Okay, so here in first section if you saw, that is definition section, we are including, that is header files stdio.h, stdlib.h. we are including one more extra file, that is lib.h, because in program we are using exit 0. Okay, so because of that we are including that one. So and in this one, in definition section, we are defining whatever tokens we required it. Okay, so here we required one token as a number, so we just were identifying the number, so that's why we are defining one token, that is a number. So then we are writing a associative of the operators, that is plus and minus left associative, multiplication and division operator, that is also left associative, but we return in 2 lines, that is line number 11 and line number 12. Why we return in 2 lines is nothing but, here if I return plus and minus first, it means it has the least priority, so whichever I will write after that has the highest priority, so that is multiplication and division operator has the highest priority, so that while calculating it will calculate first multiplication operator related things or division related things, then it will add the it will take addition and subtraction part. Okay, so this is entire, here this entire section is nothing but definition section. Now we'll look for this is entire thing, that is grammar section or rule section. So what all things will be there here, we can write any grammar. Okay, so that grammar can be evaluated. Okay, so here we are writing a grammar like e producing e plus e. Okay, like that e producing e divided by e, like that 4 operators, whatever we given that one, or it can be have a one particular number. Okay, so E can be produced with number. So like that we are writing it. So here this corresponding each production, like each production whatever is there, for that we'll write some action. Okay, so this grammar should have one starting part. Okay, so that starting part will write it as a yes producing E. Okay, so then E producing whatever grammar is there, that will write it. So here yes stands for our start of the grammar symbol. Okay, so overall whatever we are writing for that, this is a start. So here just instead of yes and E we are using statement and expressions. Okay, so stmt, that is the start of the grammar, colon expression. Okay, E, so that is our start of the grammar. Then whatever after that we return, this is the action part. Okay, what is that, we'll study it. Okay, so then here also same thing, that is E producing E plus E, like that expression producing expression plus expression. Okay, so like that minus, multiplication, division operator, parenthesis. Okay, then num. Okay, so like this we return the grammar. Okay, so in front of grammar whatever we return, sorry, in front of production whatever we return, these all are the actions. Okay, and here line number 22 to line number 29, this is the action for the expression divided by expression. Okay, so what all those, how it works, we'll study it now. Okay, so here first production was statement yes producing E, that is statement producing E. Okay, so here this action part we're saying as a whatever input is coming from the lexical analyzer, that will evaluate, then will display the result directly. So when this entire statement, whatever statement grammar start of the symbol is there, it will identify, it will work it, it will calculate it, then directly action part is give the result. Okay, so here result is nothing but printf statement, we are displaying the result percentage d, here $prompt1 we given. So whatever there before colon, okay, before colon, that will say as a $prompt, and whatever is there after colon, that will indicate by $1, $2, $3, $4, like that. Okay, so whatever grammar symbols are there after colon, that will be indicated as a $1, $2, $3. Okay, and before colon whatever is there, that is indicated as a $. So here in this case result will be there as a whatever expression we have, so that expression value we have to display it. So here we return as a $1. Okay, then after this displaying, just we will return it, that is we'll stop our program. Okay, so how this expression E producing E plus E, like that whatever productions we have, how we are written the actions for that, we'll study now. Okay, so here if you saw line number 18, here this is expression producing expression plus expression. So here right hand side, that is after colon, first one is this is $1 plus symbol, that is $2, then again expression, this is $3. Okay, so result of this expression, if it is matching for this production, result of this production is nothing but $pump is equal to, it should be E, that is after colon whatever is there, that is $1 actual addition with $3. Okay, so here this is the whatever this production is there, here plus symbol is there, that is for the identification only. After identifying the in action part, here just we are adding it, so that is dollar result, it will give us a $1 plus $3, that is this expression and this expression, both values it will add it and it will keep it in this expression. Okay, so like that we have for addition, multiplication and subtraction, three things. And if you saw for the division, if I have as a expression divide expression and second expression, if it is a 0, so we can't divide it, so that is exception. Okay, so here to avoid that exception, what we are doing is we are checking $3 is equal to 0 or not. If it is equal to 0, we are saying as a we can't divide it, we'll print one message, then we'll close the program, that is exit 0. Okay, if it is not equal to 0, then simply we'll divide it here. Okay, if it is not equal to 0, simply we'll divide it here. Okay, and okay, if you saw line number 30 here, this production is there as a expression producing open bucket, expression close bucket. So here open bucket is nothing but $.1, expression is nothing but $.2, and close bucket is nothing but here $.3. So that is nothing but this expression value, that is dollar is equal to whatever this expression is there, so that is $2. So as it is, we'll assign it. So just to remove the open bucket and close bucket. And if you saw line number 31 here, expression producing num, that is the production. Okay, so here whatever num value is there, that will be the expression value. So dollar equal to $.1, so directly we will give the value here. Okay, so whenever we will write a grammar, so to indicate end of the grammar, always we require semicolon. Okay, so here inside a grammar, this is the first grammar symbol, whatever we written here, we written semicolon, and here line number 32 also we written a semicolon. So this entire grammar is over, this grammar is over with respect to start production and with respect to e production. Okay, so now we'll see our third section, that is user subroutine section. Okay, here user subroutine section were written three functions, that is first one is Wi-Fi wrap, main, and Wi-Fi error. So if you observed here previously, we are taking plus symbol, minus, multiplication, division. Okay, so these symbols we are taking it. If other than this symbol anything came, so what we have to do, we have to give the error. So here it will not match with any of the grammar symbols and any of the production. So by default that time, okay, Lexer will call YY error function. Okay, so by default, if it is not matching with our grammar, if it is not matching with our grammar, Yak will call YY error function. Okay, so that time it will display invalid input and it will exit it, that is it will stop the execution. Okay, so Yak will call YY error if it is not matching with the our grammar whatever we written. Okay, and if input is get over, or whenever we are giving exit 0, so that time remaining buffer we are not reading it from the, whenever we are reading from the user, actually you have to read all the contents from the user. Suppose here it is divided by 0 is there, so maybe after that some expression is there, but we are not reading all those things. Okay, and we are exiting here. So this kind of things, that time you have to say as a our input is completely over. So for that Lexer will call the YY wrap and it will give the result to the Yak. So that's why we are writing YY wrap function. Okay, so here Lexer will call YY wrap, that is the end of the input, and it will give it to the Yak program. Okay, so that will say as a end of the input. Okay, and now we'll see main part. So here in main part we are saying as a enter the expression, that is nothing but he may enter as a suppose 2 plus 3. Okay, so he is entering, so whatever he entered, this part will be completely read by Lexer, and individual tokens, that is 2 plus and 3 individual tokens will be given to the Yak program. Okay, so that Yak program is nothing but here in a grammar we're trying to identify it. Okay, here in grammar we're trying to identify it. So if it is matching perfectly, you will evaluate. Okay, otherwise not. So this whatever we return, this grammar section, this will be converted into C file. Whenever we'll compile this Yak program, this entire thing will be converted into C file. So that C file name is y.tab.c. y.tab.c. Okay, so that name is y.tab.c. Okay, so this file contains one function called as a YY parse. Okay, so that is nothing but it contains all the grammar rules whatever we written here converted into C, those are there in YY parse function. So from main we have to call YY parse, so that's why in main we are calling the YY parse. So whenever it will start execution from main, it will display as a enter the expression, then YY parse function will be called. That YY parse is nothing but actions related to this, it will keep on happening. So here inside in YY parse, always it will wait for the input that is from the lexer. So whenever it will converted into C, first statement will be there from the reading the input from the lexer. So that time it will go to the lex part. So here that lex part converted thing, whatever input is coming, it will check for is it a token or not. That is, now here we are checking for only numbers. Other than that we are not doing anything. Okay, as it is the dot operator is there, we'll returning it. Okay, it will check for only numbers. So if it is there token, regular expression, the token, then we'll send it to the our grammar. So this lex program will send it to the yak program. So in yak program action part, this entire thing, it will evaluate it. Okay, then result it will display it here only. Okay, that is if grammar is successfully matched, it will display it. If it is not matching with any of these or any error is there in between, so that time it will call error function and it will display the invalid input. Okay, so now we'll see how to execute this one. Okay, so here first I am executing yak program. Okay, so file name I given as a 1b.y. Okay, so whatever yak program is there, while executing yak -d 1b.y we are executing. Then we are executing lex program, that is 1b.l. So both programs we are executing it. So these two will generate two C files. Okay, lex also will generate one C file, yak also will generate one C file. Lex will generate lex.yy.c file and yak will generate y.tab.c file. Okay, two C files are there. So these two C files together is the one program for us. So these two C files together we have to compile it. That is using GCC, using GCC we are using GCC we are compiling these two files, that is a one program for us. Okay, and we are keeping the result that is redirected into 1b. Then we'll just execute 1b. Okay, so if I executed 1b, so it will ask for enter the expression. Suppose if I entered the 4 plus 6, it is displaying as a 10. Okay, so now we'll see giving the different input. Okay, if I executed once again same thing. Okay, and enter the expression. If I entered as a 44 minus, okay, so this is, it will not a valid expression, it is not matching with our grammar. So that is, that time it will display as a invalid input. Okay, so here main thing is we are executing yak and lex program. Okay, so you can change the order. First you can execute the lex program, then you can execute the yak program. But while executing yak program, always you have to use -d option. Okay, if you are not using -d option, it will not create y.tab.h file. Okay, it will not create one header file. Okay, in that header file whatever we declared tokens, that will be there. So here we declared token, that is only one thing, that is num. Okay, so this num will not be knowing to the lex program, so that's why you have to use -d option while executing. If you are not using that one, it will give error. Okay, while compiling, doing that GCC part, it will give the error. To avoid that one, always use -d option while executing the yak program. So this is how actually we'll run our lex program and yak program both together. Okay, so just once again we'll see the overview. Now we'll get the clear picture. Okay, so here first we'll be having lex program, okay, that we have to compile. We'll be having yak program that we have to compile. So you will get two C files. Okay, so that is nothing but here you will get lex.yy.c, and here you will in from yak you will get that is y.tab.c. So two C files will be there. We have to combine two C files and you have to compile it using GCC. Okay, so whenever we'll convert lex program into C file, that is using lexer, so internally it will be having lex function. Okay, whatever we written in lex or regular expressions and corresponding action, that is those things will be converted into valid C program. So that will be there in lex function. Inside that function it will be there. Like the same way in yak whatever we'll write grammars and corresponding actions, those are things will be converted into C and it will be kept inside YY parse. Okay, so here, so whenever you are compiling yak program, so yak program whenever you are compiling, it will give three things: .h file, one .c file, then .out file, output file. Okay, so here y.tab.h file will contain always tokens. Okay, and y.tab.c file contains a C file converted into the whatever grammars is there converted into C, and y.output will be there as a parse tree which will be given to the next phase of the compiler. So here we are not using actually this one because we are not studying about synthetic analysis. Okay, then whatever we have y.tab.c, this we have to compile it. So if you are running only yak, this will compile it. Now actually maximum times we will use, that is combination of lex and yak both together. So here you have to compile both files together, that is lex file c file, that is yy.lex.c. you have to use this one, and y.tab.c both together you have to compile it. You will get the output file, then from the output file you will get the result whatever we want.